all while surgeries were taking place. So here we have a surgeon. She's got these women on the operating table, under anesthesia, performing lipo, BBL, implants, all these surgeries.
Dr. Roxy, a social media sensation, live-streamed her plastic surgeries to 1 million fans. But her glamorous facade crumbled when former patients shared horrifying stories. Botched operations and maimed patients led to a revoked medical license. Join us as we explore the shocking downfall of Dr. Roxy, from social media stardom to medical scandal. Dr. Roxy, from surgeon to sensation to scandal. From scalpels to selfies, Dr. Roxy's career took a dramatic turn. Before becoming a social media sensation, she put in the hard work, earning her medical degree from the University of Texas Medical Branch and completing her residency at Ohio State University in 2010. And because being a doctor isn't enough, she spent an extra 5 years specializing in plastic surgery. Fast forward to 2020, Dr. Roxy joined TikTok and bam! She became a viral sensation with over 800,000 followers and 14.6 million likes. Who wouldn't want to watch a talented doc bust a move in scrubs? Her patients loved her online vibe so much they started flocking to her clinic, the Roxy Clinic, for what she called a foxy Roxy body. But plot twist. Dr. Roxy's medical license was suspended in November 2022 and permanently revoked in July 2023. The patient who took down Dr. Graw. So, Dr. Roxy, aka Dr. Graw, started recording her surgeries back in 2014, which raised some red flags about patient privacy, like who wants their butt lift broadcasted on TikTok, right? Skip forward to 2016, and one of her patients, Mary Jenkins, sued her for malpractice, winning a whopping $358,000 in damages. Mary Jenkins was a cancer survivor who thought she'd finally caught a break after her breast reconstruction surgery in 2012. But things took a wild turn when her reconstructed breast started swelling like crazy just hours after the procedure. Dr. Graw's attempt to fix Jenkins's complications was straight out of a horror movie. She used leech therapy instead of surgery. Yeah, you read that right, leeches, and unsurprisingly, it didn't exactly work out. Jenkins was left with a gaping hole in her chest that needed serious wound therapy. She had to rock a wound vac to prevent fluid from building up and spent 4 long months in a nursing home recovering. But Jenkins got some justice when the jury awarded her over a lot of money in damages. Dr. Graw tried to appeal, but it was a no-go. However, Jenkins wasn't just in it for the money. She wanted to make sure Dr. Graw couldn't harm anyone else. She was all about making sure Dr. Graw faced the music by having her license revoked. But sadly, it took 8 more years for that to happen. The Ohio State Medical Board received a series of complaints from former patients of Dr. Graw between 2020 and 2022. This ultimately led to a hearing to determine whether she would be allowed to continue practicing medicine. At least 3 of these complaints were particularly alarming and were discussed in detail during the hearing.
Dr. Roxy had no comment about being stripped of her license.
No comment.
These complaints were of botched surgeries, including a bowel perforation from liposuction and a tummy tuck that resulted in complications. Dr. Graw had a patient in December 2021 for a breast augmentation, but things took a dark turn just days later. The patient started feeling nauseous and bleeding from her breast, and she went back to the clinic for treatment, but her symptoms only got worse. She was in pain, felt crummy, and was still nauseous. A nurse practitioner tried to help her out, but this poor patient ended up in the hospital with a crazy fast heart rate. And that's when things got really serious. The hospital found out she had a nasty infection that required treatment and the removal of her brand new breast implants. These allegations were further complicated by claims that Dr. Roxy had live-streamed surgeries without patient permission. She had also told patients not to call 911 in case of complications. The investigation into Dr. Graw. So what happens when a doctor's patients start experiencing some pretty bad outcomes? The medical community starts asking questions like, did the doc follow the standard of care? In other words, did they do everything they could to prevent things from going wrong? Even the best surgeons can have bad days, but if it keeps happening, it's time to investigate. And that's exactly what happened with Dr. Graw. The state brought in an expert witness, Dr. Gregory Surfield, to help figure out what went wrong. Dr. Surfield explained that live streaming surgery isn't necessarily a no-no, but it's all about how you do it. If you're too focused on being a social media star, you might lose sight of what really matters, your patient.
Oh yeah, and that pencil test to tell them that they needed a lift surgery, all of that brought in millions of views.
Dr. Graw and her team tried to argue that live streaming was a good thing, making her more relatable and helping patients make informed decisions. But Melinda Snyder, the Assistant Attorney General, wasn't having it. She said, "This isn't about social media, it's about how Dr. Graw's use of it affected her patients." The State Medical Board of Ohio sent Dr. Graw a warning letter in October 2018, telling her to keep patient privacy in mind when sharing surgery vids on social media. You'd think she'd get the hint, but she didn't. But nearly 3 years later, the board sent another letter in September 2021 outlining even more concerns. In the second letter, Dr. Graw received something like a prescription for a medical makeover. They told her to hit the books and brush up on her plastic surgery skills, plus learn some professionalism and ethics 101. It was like a refresher course in being a good professional doctor. But, spoiler alert, it didn't quite work out for her.
Dr. Roxy claims that this will change her life forever. Well, she has single-handedly forever changed the lives of at least 3 people.
Dr. Graw's Day of Reckoning. In November 2022, the medical board suspended Dr. Graw's license, citing a danger to the public. No surprise there. In 2023, the board held hearings and ultimately revoked Dr. Graw's license to practice medicine in Ohio on July 12, 2023. Dr. Graw changed her LinkedIn job description to strategic advisor and self-employed in January 2023. But the damage to her medical career was already done. Dr. Graw testified that she'd interact with TikTok users who asked questions during surgeries, and someone else in the room would read the questions aloud while she live-streamed, allowing her to respond. She claimed she was just trying to do good and show the surgeries to people. Okay. Dr. Graw's claims that her social media empire was built on empowering women through plastic surgery. She claimed she just wanted to educate and make people smile, but her live stream showed her being super distracted during surgery, like she was more focused on the camera than her patients. The medical expert, Dr. Surfield, called her out on it, saying she wasn't even properly doing her job because she was too busy being a social media star. And girl, she tried to blame it on her social media team's editing skills. But let's be real, Dr. Graw had chance after chance to change her ways, and she didn't. So the medical board did the right thing and revoked her license. Mary Jenkins, the patient who won a lawsuit against Dr. Graw.
But her lack of professionalism and poor judgment in delegating responsibilities to others appears to have significantly contributed to her falling below the standards of care.
Was waiting outside the courtroom, ready to be the first face she saw when she walked out. Former Dr. Graw associate surrenders medical license. Recently in March 2024, a significant development occurred in Dr. Roxy's case. Carlos Domingo, a former associate of Dr. Catherine Graw, surrendered his medical license. Domingo had practiced alongside Dr. Graw at her Ohio Plastic Surgery Center, Roxy Plastic Surgery. The medical board spokesperson, Jerica Stewart, said it was all part of a settlement agreement. Guess he didn't want to go through the drama Dr. Graw faced in 2023. The medical board's investigation found that Domingo had failed to meet the minimum standards of care. By surrendering his license, he acknowledged these findings and opted not to contest them. And that's a wrap on the wild ride that was Dr. Roxy's medical career. It's a crazy story, but it's also an important reminder to always prioritize your health and do your research before trusting someone with your body. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of medicine, social media, and everything in between. See you in the next video.